We are finally ready for a premier matchup in the Mid-South Conference. The number 3 Campbellsville Tigers are in town against the Bluefield College Rams. Hello, everybody. Bailey Engel and Ethan Stinson, soon to be joined by Jackson Bass. We're glad to have you with us here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. And Ethan, a great weekend for Bluefield College men's volleyball, especially the outside hitter in Ciparini.
Yeah, Ciparini especially. He got the Mid-South Conference, I believe, attacker of the week. And with an impressive average of .453, just an outstanding young man in Ciparini. Great asset to the Bluefield College team.
Yeah, 56 total kills, and more importantly for Bluefield College, won both of those matches in that tri-match over the weekend against Thomas More as well as Carolina University. Now it's going to get even more difficult, Ethan, because this is a Campbellsville team, like we said, number 3 in the country and a top of the Mid-South Conference.
Even more stressful than the Georgetown match that they had a few weeks back. I remember that they had some key players on the outside as well, just like tonight. For example, we got playing on the outside Cruz with 182 cumulative kills, just being consistent on the kill there.
Yeah, and for Campbellsville, 18-3, 9-1 in the Mid-South Conference. Rams right now 8-13 and 4-7 in the Mid-South Conference. Well, you look at the total kills, and Alfonso Alvarez, the head coach in his second year of the head coach of Bluefield College men's volleyball. Total kills, Bluefield College is number 2 in the conference. Now, they are well behind the number 1 team in the conference, which, you guessed it, is Campbellsville. But you look at hitting percentage for Bluefield College, the Rams in 9th, Campbellsville in 1st. It's really going to come down to Bluefield College cutting down those errors to even have a chance in this ball game.
Absolutely. I mean, looking at the percentages that I took notes of before the game, Campbellsville is above Bluefield by nearly 20 points, over 20 points. So really, it's crucial for Bluefield College to not have that many substantial errors to keep the game going.
Rams look pretty confident over the weekend. 3-set victory against Thomas More, a team that had beaten them already 3-0 earlier in the month of March. Now they face off against a Campbellsville team that really is the cream of the crop in the conference. Head coach by Eric Snyder and assistant Manny Pinchame. This is a team coming from Kentucky. Tons of success. Got to watch out for Jay Montalvo. She is the former Mid-South Conference not only Libero of the Year, but as well as the Player of the Year. So it's going to be very tough for Bluefield College on the attack because she's going to dig up a lot of balls.
Yeah, and may I also add that a redshirt junior who originally attended Warner University, I mean, she's had an impressive record with just overall being on the defense for this team.
Yeah, the Rams going up against a Campbellsville team that always comes in here and really gets a lot of great work done coming from Campbellsville, Kentucky. And you just think about Campbellsville really having great programs all around, always a force to watch out for, baseball, basketball, football, you name it. Rams trying to make a name for themselves here in 2021 and a great weekend, certainly getting the confidence back. And like I said, Ethan, in the last matchup against Georgetown, the Rams were up against a couple of tough outside hitters. It's only going to get tougher today against Campbellsville.
And also, I believe Jackson and I were talking before the game that one of the games this past weekend was a huge upset in Bluefield's favor.
Right, absolutely. You think about Thomas More, where Thomas More, the Saints had beaten Bluefield 3-0, and then Bluefield College came back and honestly just looked like the way better team in that second game of the tri-match for Bluefield College. But now, going to have to be a great team today to beat a great team in Jeremy Hernandez's Campbellsville University Tigers. Hernandez ready to serve, the setter from Bayamon, Puerto Rico. Remember, this one getting started a little bit later. We had a miscommunication with the officials, and the officials are currently getting set in right now. They've made their way to the dome, and it looks like the stand isn't all the way strong enough to make sure that far side official is good, and he is fine. So just about an hour and 11 minutes after we were supposed to start this one, we are ready. The 8-13, 4-7 in the Mid-South Conference Bluefield College Rams up against the 18-3, 9-1 in the conference Campbellsville University Tigers. Hernandez finally ready, and the whistle blows. So we are good to go here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Good serve, Tony Martin. Adiel Diaz, point Bluefield. Already filtering the ball over to the freshman outside hitter, Ethan. He's going to be strong to really watch out for in the years to come for Bluefield College men's volleyball.
You've seen a good track record in Diaz also all season long, just playing consistently at the outside, and he's had a lot of kills as well.
And it's just like that. When Alfonso Alvarez and I got to talk before the game, he said, we have to make sure that when the other team makes a mistake, whether they serve it into the net or they let a ball bounce by, that we can't make the mistake as well. So we have to be able to try to pile on 4 more points. That's really the goal for his team, to try to get something going. And he compared it to a situation with the New England Patriots of the 2000s and the 2010s, because they've been good for 20 years up until just about this year. But he said that every time it seemed like the other team would fumble or throw an interception, then the Patriots would score. So he wants to have that when Campbellsville makes a mistake, the Rams can't make a mistake on their own. And now we've already seen a service error as well as an attack error. So it's 2-1 Campbellsville.
Yeah, they can't do that. They cannot get side outs too much as well.
Oh Yin Lung, General Smith. And once again, the Rams have just blasted the ball beyond the back line. 3-1.
If they want to stay in this, they have to quit, getting outside of the lines.
And quite frankly, not many of them have been close. Martin. Diaz blocked and out of play. So Diaz looks like the key factor today. Leo Fernandez, another name to watch out for Bluefield College, the freshman from Palmetto, Florida. Alberto Ciparini, the Mid-South Conference Attacker of the Week, wrapping up a great Bluefield College men's volleyball career. Trying to get on track for 1,000 kills. Big swing in the near side for Jakob Zumkolk. And another point goes for Campbellsville. Here's Noah Henkel, the middle blocker from Erfurt, Germany. Standing in at 6'5". Here's General Smith. A dig. Dumped back. Colby Muter can't catch up to it, and it's 5-2.
Hey, do you have 5-2 or 4-2? 5-2.
Diaz. Hernandez. Wow, big swing from the back. It drops in. Great job that time by Jose Vieira Sarame. Fernandez. And blocked. General Smith had all the hand on that one, bringing it down, and Bluefield is able to side out, Ethan.
Like I've always said, the general has laid down the law and is directing the troops.
All right. Well, the general laying down the law, I guess he's also a lawyer general. So, and just like that, yes, a service error. And really, it's almost been prophetic what Alfonso Alvarez I talked about earlier. He said, we have to make sure we don't make mistakes. And Bluefield College coming into this game second in the conference in total errors. Only a 3-error differential from that of Cumberland, who actually beat Bluefield last week. So now it's 8-3 Campbellsville. And I don't even really think we've seen the depth of how far Campbellsville can really go. Rafael Cruz. Gliding over. Ciparini. Big swing in the middle. Set it up again and ripped down. Easy for Zumkolk. And already a 9-3 lead for the number 3 team in the country.
They're capitalizing on Bluefield's errors, and it's catching up.
Martinez make it Martin, actually, bringing it down with the right hand on the dump. So Tony Martin, the freshman. It's been interesting to see what Alfonso Alvarez has done as far as cycle out a couple of different players. We see Jovian Banks not getting the start today, but already as the middle blocker. But Tony Martin being the setter in the last couple of games. And there is Jovion Banks bringing it down with a quick block, and Bluefield is back within 4.
Now that's what we're talking about with a front line strategy. Just aggressive with the block, not letting it go past.
And an overpass. There's a rare error for Campbellsville. Rams within 3.
You've seen some very good service from Boston also
Yeah,
this season.
Especially this weekend where Bluefield College really got behind him on a rally. And a joust won by Martin. Looked like Jeremy Hernandez tried to go with a quick dump move, and the Bluefield setter wasn't having any of it. So, actually, no, they counted as a point of 10-6 for Campbellsville. Just popped out.
It was a close call.
So now, here's Zoom Kolk. Jovion Banks got a piece of Montalvo's shoulder, and Banks already has a couple of kills. Montalvo, Hernandez, and there's another block for Banks, making a humongous difference in this one. Rams were down by 6. Now all of a sudden, it's a 2-point game.
I believe Jovion Banks at the middle is a pretty good combination with the rest of the team thus far. Let's see if it continues.
Absolutely. Martin up to Banks again. He is on fire. Jovion Banks has made it a 1-point game, and Bluefield is rallying here in set 1.
I believe if Bluefield really pulls this one out, Jovion Banks thus far in my book is the MVP for this one.
Oh, at least in set 1 in the first half of it. Hernandez. Big swing and blocked again. Banks and Ciparini. Ball game is tied at 10-10.
Bluefield is really starting to get aggressive with the play. That is what we like to see on this Bluefield offense.
Now the Rams with a chance to take the lead on a 6-1 run right now. Omin Long and out of play. So the Rams have taken the lead after Ho Yin Lung's shot down the line is out of play. Timeout called by Eric Snyder. Rams lead the number 3 team in the country. When we come back, we have more of 1. Jovion Banks already with 3 blocks for Bluefield College, and the Rams in a surprising lead right now at 11-10 over the number 3 team in the country in the Campbellsville Tigers. Welcome back here, set number 1. Rams up 11-10 on a team that was already leading at 1.9-3. You saw Bluefield stop making a few errors and really show their full potential, especially with Jovion Banks. Hernandez, Cruz with 2 hands. Hernandez for Bluefield. Set, and a big spike. Ho Yin Lung getting Campbellsville right back into it off of the block. Well, the freshman from Hong Kong able to tie it up, 11-11. And here is Jay Montalvo. What a big serve. And brought down. And I think that's what Bluefield's going to really have to be dealing with all day. Jay Montalvo, what a great serve by her. And then Jeremy Hernandez with a free ball right over the net.
Hernandez has had a good track record of aces also, and, well, they just have to watch him on the front line.
Right off of the net. Ciparini counted for Bluefield. All tied up 12-12. We're seeing for Bluefield College, at least here in set one, obviously early against the number 3 team in the country. But for Bluefield, you're looking at a little bit of the confidence from the weekend rollover here on this Monday. Blocked, dropped in. Jovion Banks, that is his 4th block, and Bluefield takes the lead at 13-12.
Jovion Banks has kept his team alive. Chipperini coming up now. Let's see what he cooks up.
Ciparini, a talented server, now just going to float that one up to the net, and Muter couldn't dig it away. So 13-13 the score.
They're just trading off points right now. That just tells you how competitive this game is.
Yeah, it certainly has been a competitive game so far, and I think it's because Campbellsville did not anticipate the block being this great so far. And Jovion Banks again.
Jovion for the kill.
Playing out of his mind. That's his 3rd kill already. So teeing it up to the middle blocker. (14-13). Oyin Lung off the block and tied back up at 14-14.
This may very well go past a 25-point convention.
Well, you weren't here, Ethan, but Saturday we actually had a first set, albeit in the neutral game between Thomas More and Carolina University. Just tipped down easily that time by Zoom Kolk, but 40-38 was the final score of a set.
Lord.
Yeah.
That is, I've never seen anything go that
So
fast.
we looked it up, and it wasn't anywhere close to the longest volleyball set of all time. That was back in 1979 in the Czechoslovakian professional league. Ho Yin Lung. Looks like Campbellsville's dialed in, but that was like 87-85.
Oh, my.
The final, right.
Well, in NAIA, we haven't seen anything like that in a while.
No, I don't think so. Oh Yin Lung on a bit of a streak now for the Tigers. And it ends, so Bluefield back within 1. (16-15) the score. Here is Leo Fernandez. Serve for Fernandez. Zumkolk, a dig for Ciparini. Rams recover. And Haniel Diaz almost had a chance there of dumping it in. Instead, Rafael Cruz. Seems like any ball that's just relatively free near the top of the net and middle of the net, Rafael Cruz or really anybody on that front line is going to punish the ball. And now we have seen that the Tigers have taken a 2-point lead.
Bluefield can't give up now.
Certainly the Rams trying to come off with a big upset. General Smith trying to recover for Bluefield. Cruz trying to push through the block. Diaz recovers. And the Rams just weren't ready. Tony Martin, General Smith. Watch that ball fly in. Small communication error, and Alfonso Alvarez calls a timeout. Tigers lead in this one 18-15. Storming back in set 1. Set number 1, 18-15 Tigers over the Bluefield College Rams here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. And right now we're seeing that Campbellsville, after being down by a few, started to dial in, Ethan, and starting to make the Rams make a few more mistakes. And certainly the Rams aren't out of this one yet, just down by 3 in set number 1, but can't have those young mistakes really pile up on them.
Not only that, but you can tell also, aside from mistakes, Bluefield's firing on all cylinders only to be within 3 points. So let's hope it continues.
Now, right now, Jovion Banks not in this particular rotation, but he's a big part of the reason why the Rams are even close to being into this one. Ciparini. Wow. Rare mistake there for Campbellsville. This goes behind Niels Kleinschmidt. And it's 18-16. So a side out for Bluefield. Here's Jadiel Diaz. Another talented player, Alfonso Alvarez. Recruited out of Puerto Rico. Big swing, and count it. Jakob Zoom-Kolk.
That was barely in the corner, but it was in.
I think that might have been the point. Zoom-Kolk had it really dialed in and was aiming right for that corner. And here is Rafael Cruz. Campbellsville only 6 away. And it's out. So a mistake for the Tigers, keeping Bluefield into this one. And just like that, now in the rotation, Jovian Banks sets up in the middle. And Terrell Boston, who has been a really consistently good server for Bluefield College, comes in.
Boston also has had quite a few aces this year. I'm going to be surprised to see what he does.
Hernandez. Zoom-Kolk blocked. Banks again.
Oh. Jovian Banks, we are proud of you up here.
5th block for Jovian Banks. Also has a few kills with that as well. 19-18 Boston. Cruz jumping into the air, and Boston just went off of his body, flew back behind the backboard.
You can see a lot of the spectators in there in the training rooms.
Right, and I think what was pretty funny, though, is the fact that Boston, he was right there ready for it and just belted the ball backwards, so he had a bit of sense of humor about it. Well, it's 20-18. All jokes aside, Campbellsville starting to close in. Here's Andres Leboy. Hernandez too low, and a point for Campbellsville. So now the Tigers just 4 away. Goes back to Leboy from Cuomo, Puerto Rico. Ciparini going back, but keeping it in.
That is why he is Attacker of the Week. Right there, ladies and gentlemen.
It also might be the reason why he might be the best player in Bluefield College history at this point. Ciparini, who's been on a lot of teams that are under 500, including this one, but boy, can perform very well. As Tony Martin has kept that ball right on the net. So 22-19, side out, and it goes to Jay Montalvo. Last time she was ready to serve, there was a couple of absolute lasers coming off of her right arm. Ciparini blocked, but out of play. So the Rams back within 2 and another side out. Rafael Cruz. You could just tell how he jumped that time, that ball was going to be sailing forward, and Muter couldn't dig it away. So another side out going right back to Hernandez. And a timeout called by Alfonso Alvarez. We'll keep it here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. And Ethan, Bluefield College has played so well here in set number 1, and it almost seems like without Jovian Banks in the rotation at the time, Rams really don't have anything crazy to shake up against Campbellsville because the Tigers haven't found an answer for Banks.
Absolutely. Banks has been unstoppable. And as Bob Redd's playing down there on the PA, it's almost shouting time right now for the Bluefield College Rams, even though game's not completely over yet.
Yeah, and I think for Campbellsville, just a lot of depth. And you can tell with Eric Snyder what we have seen out of him in that coach's huddle, where he's been pretty animated and a little bit almost frustrated with how his team was performing when he had to call a timeout. Remember, at one point, it was 9-3. And the Rams went on an 8-1 run to take the lead against the Tigers. So, see what Bluefield College can do out of the timeout. Only down by 3. Certainly need a good amount of a rally to take this one away from Campbellsville, the number 3 team in the country. Lone conference loss was to Warner, Montalvo's former school. And now for Campbellsville, a team that has had so much success against Bluefield in the past. Can they get these next 2 points to win set number 1? Jadiel Diaz. Montalvo digs. Bumped over. Banks. Got Campbellsville out of system, but Montalvo gets the kill.
You could tell Muter was trying to save it, but I think the velocity just the velocity was too much.
Well, I don't even know if it's the velocity. It was just the angle where Muter wasn't ready. It was just a great play by Montalvo, who just had the idea of keeping it alive. So now set point. Fernandez into the bleachers and kept alive. Montalvo under it. Martin to Diaz. Got a piece of the fingertips, and the Rams side out to get the ball back. 24-21, still set point for Campbellsville, but the Rams certainly not done yet with Colby Muter, another talented server in his own right, trying to keep this going. Going back, Oyen Lung. Kept alive, and no. Point Bluefield, 24-22.
Bluefield is not giving up.
It looked like it was a bit much for Andres LeBoy to try to fight that one out. Solid serve. Oyen Lung, and that is the exclamation point Campbellsville needed. 25-22, Rams hung tough, but the Tigers a bit too much in the end. Coming back with set two, Ethan Stinson, Jackson Bass will be on the call for you, but on to set two, it's 1-0 Tigers.
Welcome back to the Bluefield College Dome. My name is Ethan Stinson alongside Jackson Bast. We're pleased to have you on this edition of men's volleyball. Just to recap real quickly, the first set of play, Bluefield College surprisingly getting some points racked up on the board, only losing by 3 points to Campbellsville in his first set, Jackson.
Yeah, and you don't really expect somebody like Bluefield to be so close to Campbellsville, especially with Campbellsville's usual box scores coming between like a 25-17 kind of game where there's a pretty large margin.
Yeah, but Bluefield not backing down and not ready to back down. Some of the errors Bluefield had were costly in the end result, especially near the beginning when they were down 9-3, but then they came back and scored 8 more.
I mean, just imagine if you take out all those errors, Bluefield's ahead at the end.
Jovion Banks, it looks like he's going to be back in rotation to start off this second stanza of play here at the Bluefield College Dome. Thank you all for tuning into the Rams Digital Sports Network, where 34 seconds remain on the clock, and then we're going to resume play. Just overall, playing the number 3 in the nation, being within 3 points of them is quite a privilege and an honor. Bluefield should not take that for granted, but the tables could turn here, but we will see here on the Rams Digital Sports Network where Martin, Muter, Fernandez, looks like Chipperini and Banks are on the action, as well as Jadiel Diaz. Bluefield has the ball with Muter up to serving position, ball moving left to right. And the referee signals to begin the second set. It's up to LeBoy. And a little miscombobulation from Banks, probably expecting to have a joust at the net. 1-0 for Campbellsville. Now up to serve Hernandez for Campbellsville. Ball's high. Here's Martin to Chipperini, and miscombobulation in return from Hernandez. It's now 1 apiece. Already a competitive game, Jackson.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of errors on both sides, and maybe it won't be too costly for one of the teams, but when they miss and miss and miss, it racks up.
And just a great corner play from Campbellsville to now take the lead back 2-1. Ho up for the serve now. He swirls, dribbles. Ball's up to Martin. Here's Chipperini, but too wide. Actually, that one was ruled in favor of Bluefield College. Think someone might have touched it over there. It's 2-2. Chipperini back up to serve for Bluefield College. As we mentioned before in the pregame, he is Attacker of the Week in the Mid-South Conference. And a kill from the outside from Cruz, Rafael Cruz. You've heard his name mentioned a lot tonight. 3-2 as they take the lead back. Cruz has been phenomenal with the kills. He's a leader in kills right now for Campbellsville.
Yeah, and it doesn't surprise you. He's a first-team All-Mid-South Conference honor the year prior.
And it looks like it's going to be ruled in favor of Campbellsville after a little bit of miscoordination. 4-2 in favor of Campbellsville. Henkel up for the serve. Hometown hailing from Erfurt, Germany. He's up. Here's Martin. Jahariel Diaz in for the kill. 4-3 in favor of Bluefield College, and that is his 4th kill of the day for Jahariel Diaz, an impressive freshman. You've seen a lot from him this year. Here's Boston. Boston again to Martin. Chipperini. Hernandez. And bouncing too far in the corner from Sarame, the junior. It's 4-4 now, tie ball game.
You know, one thing I'm noticing from this Campbellsville team is that they are not too hurried to go try to get the ball. If they think it's about to go out, they'll stop.
Yeah, well, Bluefield wants to save it at all costs, just like they tried to do there. A little miscommunication gives a point back to Campbellsville to take the lead back after Martin sort of went to the side. 5-4. It's now the turn of Rafael Cruz to make a play here for the Campbellsville Tigers. It's up. The General getting a return. And a block from Jahariel Diaz. Blockading that ball like Gandalf the Wizard saying, "Thou shalt not pass." It's 5-5. It is just an amazing 8 team blocks total for Bluefield College, as reported by our statistician, Jacob Key. Oh, getting very, very aggressive with the ball. Muter went over the line to retrieve the ball, but it goes to Campbellsville. It is 6-5.
That's a little surprising because, you know, you can go out to bring the ball back into play as long as it doesn't go over the barrier in the wrong way.
It looks like the refs are conferring about that play. Looks like the play stands.
Quick play of the Jeopardy theme.
Yeah, see what they're thinking up. Apparently the scoreboard says 5-5. It's a tie ball game. Fernandez gets it up. Maltavo. To Martin. Here's Hernandez to Ciparini off the light, and it's bouncing, sort of bounced near our press box here, right off the basketball goal. 6-5 now, back within 1 point. Going to Campbellsville. Up to serve now is LeBoy. Andres LeBoy, that is, who is a libero, outside hitter, and a defensive specialist. As his many accolades has approved, great records. And another one from Fernandez. Block from Ho, and that one giving them a 2-point advantage, 7-5. Right now they're pulling away with the lead. What does Bluefield have to do to sort of keep that lead narrow?
Well, they need to combat their errors with playing even better. You know, they're giving up a lot of service errors and making a lot of mistakes that they don't need to be making.
Here's Martin in the middle. On the left side. Went under the net from Jariel Diaz, 8-5. It's a 3-point ball game. LeBoy back up to the serving position on Campbellsville. And the referee preemptively signaling to the start of play. He dribbles. Low to the ground. Spiraling. It's up. And Fernandez cranked up high on the voltage, 9-5.
I could have seen that one going either way. It was kind of on in between the red and the yellow line.
Yeah, but those corner plays and those edge plays, just like chalk flying in baseball or softball, you know, it's a sort of like that fair foul situation. LeBoy back up for his 4th consecutive time serving in this rallying series. It's Ciparini to return. And a little bit too aggressive on the side from Diaz on the outside. 10-5. It's a 5-point game. A lot of it coming from Bluefield's errors, and Campbellsville capitalizing on that. As now LeBoy comes for his 5th time up to serve. And a service error from LeBoy finally puts an end to the consecutive rallies that they have been able to dominate. Now with Jariel Diaz, the freshman, on Bluefield College for the serve. It's 10-6. Martin keeping it up. To Hernandez. Ho. Keeping it alive was Diaz. With some effort, but in the end, Hernandez getting it 11-6. Maltavo, transfer student from Warner University. And the libero wearing a gray jersey this afternoon.
You ever been to Lake Wales, Florida?
I think I've been near there. I don't know if I've been by there or not. Probably on an interstate somewhere. And a service error, however rare it may be, now puts Bluefield 11-7. Trailing by 5 points. Check it, 4 points. Colby Muter getting ready for the serve on Bluefield College. Jovion Banks in the rotation, along with Ciparini. Tony Martin on the front line. Should be interesting. Wearing his red jersey, number 8, Muter, for the serve. To Hernandez. Maltavo. Hernandez again. And a nice play. Nice play from Cruz that time. Now it's a 12-7 ball game, up by 5. You've also seen some pretty substantial plays from Hernandez on the front lines. Bluefield College, after trying to get a piece of that time from Campbellsville, a 5th kill. Who was on the kill that time?
Missed it reading my notes.
And point this time going to Bluefield. Tony Martin. Hernandez. And effortlessly getting that in, Henkel from Germany. It's 13-9. Ho up now for Campbellsville to serve. Ball up high, and it's up. Chipperini, but a block from, you guessed it, Rafael Cruz, 14-9. We're glad to have you on the Rams Digital Sports Network, where it's 1-0, Campbellsville leading, but it looks like they're pulling away with this second one. Jackson Bass, Ethan Stinson, great to have you. And from the outside, we have number 10, Kolk. It's now 15-9 and a timeout, with Jackson Bass coming back with the play-by-play in about a minute here on the Rams Sports Network, where the score 15-9.
And we're back. Jackson Bass and Ethan Stinson on the call. And Ethan, you know, Bluefield is keeping it kind of close, but you know, Campbellsville, they're starting to pull away.
Yeah, and I mean, Campbellsville has been capitalizing on Bluefield's errors time and time again. And it just seems like ironing out those errors could have helped this game gotten a lot closer, especially a lot closer that we saw in set one.
Yep. Ho up to serve. Here comes the serve. And a big hit out. Service error. Point Bluefield. Chipperini up to serve.
You saw Chipperini come out a lot tonight.
You definitely have, and that's why he got those Attacker of the Week from the Mid-South Conference. Different banks. Muter was just a little short of recovering that.
You saw a little bit of inconsistency from players like Muter on that back end tonight, and you know, those errors could have been diminished quite a bit.
Yep. Hinkle up to serve. Muter gets a hand on it. Big hit from Gadiel Diaz, and he gets the kill. Terrell Boston up to serve. And, you know, you can see the frustration on Boston anytime he kind of messes up and comes out. He gets real flustered.
Not flustering this time, though.
No. Boston up to serve again.
Got to give that a free point to Bluefield, I mean, on the side out.
It's a lot of court awareness. Big serve from Boston. Hit up by Hernandez. Recovered from Chipperini. And hit over by Boston once again. And it's out. Rafael Cruz serving for the Tigers. Got a big server for this Campbellsville offense.
Yeah, and he's been an asset all night long, really. Saw his name a lot.
The general gets it over and gets the point.
The general for the second time. He's directing them troops as a freshman and laying it in when he can.
Fernandez up to serve. Fernandez is a big freshman. We saw him got hurt in the last game versus Thomas More, and I'm glad to see he's back out here again. Big hit and service error.
So what happened? Because I was not here for that, but elaborate on what happened.
Well, you
how
can
he got hurt.
you could kind of sing his fingers. He fell the wrong way, and they had to pull him out. But I'm glad he came back.
Definitely a good recovery time from Saturday.
Yeah, well, Sunday is the day of rest.
Amen. Amen, brother, as this is a Christian institution.
The boy up to serve. Big hit. Chipperini. Martin in a big slam down by. Big hit by Diaz. Blocked. Up by Muter. Big slap over by Chipperini. LeBoy. And a big hit by Ho. Campbellsville get the point. A little touching on the ball there.
Yeah, but you've also saw Ho be very, very aggressive on the front line and, not taking no for an answer.
Well, him and Hernandez both had some really good runs when they were up to serve, and they just know where to get the ball. LeBoy over to Chipperini. By Word, and a big slam by Diaz. Up by Muter. So by Word, and General Smith just misses it. The block for a couple Tigers.
Well, not looking good for Bluefield if they want to keep a series going. They're down by 7, and they only need 5 to go before they take this second one.
Yep. LeBoy is handing it off to Michaels. This is the first time we see Michaels in the game?
Yeah, we haven't saw Michaels as of yet, so let's see what he does here. He's a 6'3" opposite hitter and setter.
Yeah,
only
the
a freshman.
Lapel, Indiana native with the big hit. Up by Muter. Set by Word. Toss over by Diaz. Hernandez. Michaels. Chipperini gets a piece of it and it's out. When I looked up the profile for Michaels, it said that he led his team in everything.
Yeah, literally everything. And that's not no understatement. Well, we're at a timeout right now.
And we will be back in 1 second.
Let's get back.
And we're back. Michaels up to serve. Here comes the serve. Big hit over by Diaz. And it's the point Rams. Up to serve is Gadiel Diaz.
He's going to grow into one good volleyball player by his senior year, I can tell you that much.
I'm going to be a little scared if he keeps growing.
Yeah.
Up by Hernandez. Set by Word. Big hit by Chipperini, and it's out. (22-14) the score. Campbell up by 8. Check that. Campbellsville up by 8. Hit over by Maltavo. And you see Maltavo, she's just got the power of every time she hits.
Seems like the official ruled that inside.
Muter up to serve. Set by Hernandez. A big hit by Hinkle. Here comes the serve. Set by Hernandez, a big hit by Hinkle, but it's blocked by Chipperini. Bluefield back with the win in 5.
Chipperini has definitely shown out all contest long.
Muter up. Hit over by Maltavo. And it's out. That was barely out of there.
Barely out of there is, like I said, I could see that chalk flying. It could have went either way in my book.
Muter up to serve once again. Hits it over. Maltavo. Oh, did Muter get a hand on that?
I believe he might have gotten a little bit of a piece of it to put Campbellsville now within 2.
Hernandez up to serve. Big hit. Adiel Diaz. And he knocks it out. God, but the power of Hernandez just shows that even the ricochet is going to land 20 feet in the air.
And you know, with set point right now, Bluefield not really trying to give up yet as Jovion Banks looking to get another block like he had in that first set. The determination, you can see that. Looks like Cruz is conferring with an official.
Hernandez up to serve. Big smack over. Muter. Maltavo. And a tip. Chipperini puts us into the 3rd set. And we'll be back here with Bailey Engel and Jackson Bass. Oh, check that. And we'll be back.
Set number 3 on the way here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Bailey Engel and Jackson Bass, we're glad to have you with us here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. And Jackson really saw a strong performance out of Campbellsville after Bluefield maintained a pretty close set one, 25-22. Tigers came back and won that second one, 25-18.
Yeah, in Campbellsville, they're making a lot less errors. And that's going to be really key for Bluefield if they want to win this set.
That's really been the key all season for Bluefield College. Try to make less errors. Chiaparini, all the velocity, and it goes into the upper deck and allowed. Point number 1 for Bluefield College. So, Chiaparini, whatever happens here today, still going to be the Mid-South Attacker of the Week. Playing against the number 3 team in the country. Just has a few guys that are comparable to Chiaparini, where the Rams only have one. There's a guy like Rafael Cruz. Jovion Banks, though, how about his day so far, Jackson? I mean, 7 blocks on the day already for him, and just a strong, strong performance for the Bluefield freshman.
Yeah, and we haven't seen too much out of Banks, but we're glad that he's coming out and coming for the number 3 team in the nation.
I think that's actually very interesting is the fact that, oh my goodness, Rafael Cruz, by the way, leaving a crater in the hard court. But it's been a huge difference today, and that's why we saw set 1 so close, 25-22. Jovion Banks tallied up at least 3 blocks in that first set and also had a few kills with the Rams and Tony Martin. The two of them, the freshmen, both of them coming from 757 area, same part of the recruiting process for Alfonso Alvarez. So there's a lot of chemistry there, and it's going to be cool to see what develops in the next few years to come.
Definitely. And you know, if there was a game ball like they did in baseball when I was a kid, I think Jovion Banks would get it.
I think that they still might be able to do that. But now 2-2, Campbellsville, even with the moral victories like that, the Tigers have been just so dominant with how they've been able to set up attackers on the outside. Jeremy Hernandez, a very talented setter. And also with these serves, Oyin Lung ready to do so, trying to get Bluefield out of system, and they have been able to.
There's been so much power behind every single serve.
Zoom Kolk. And that time Banks couldn't bring down the block perfectly. So it is 3-2 Campbellsville. 2-0 the score. Tigers leading in this one. Oyin Lung. And a service error. So, Rams trying to stay in the game. Alfonso Alvarez said, well, when another team makes an error, it's time for us to rally for about 3 or 4 more. And Bluefield College just hasn't been able to consistently do that this year. See what Tony Martin can do here, the freshman. Montalvo. Wow. Brought down very quickly by Kleinschmidt. Check that. That's Noah Henkel. So Henkel right off of the kill, 4-3. Got this one started an hour and 11 minutes late because the officials were not here. Glad to have you part of the ride anyway. You're on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Henkel. Sarame feeds Cruz. Well, that block weakening a little bit for Bluefield. Now 5-3. Back to a 2-point lead for Campbellsville. Top team pretty much virtually in every stat except for kills per set. Campbellsville number 2. Another one going for Campbellsville there. Make it actually Bluefield and miss. So now for the Rams.
That's 8 for.
Jovion Banks with 8. Cruz off of the shoulder of Colby Muter. Almost seems like Jackson, right after Bluefield gets some sort of point defensively, maybe off of a block or a service error, Campbellsville plays angry on those outside swings, especially from Cruz that time, and then a service error.
Well, they're not the number 1 team in the nation, or number 3 team in the nation for nothing.
Right. So strong, so many players that are just able to do that for Eric Snyder's squad, very deep. Here comes Terrell Boston for Bluefield. And serve. And slam down. He's used that for Max Stottridge. Banks ready to check back in. Boston out. Oh, Banks checking out, actually. Fernandez in. General Smith also in for Bluefield. LeBoy, too low. So it seems like service errors alone, Bluefield College is in this third set.
Yeah, and we talk about the first set. And if you take away a lot of the avoidable points,
Right.
Bluefield's going to win that set.
And only ended up being 25-22. Eric Snyder's team called a timeout. Ho Yin Lung right back into it. And the Tigers, after being down by as much as 2 in that first set, Eric Snyder called a timeout, and we really saw the Tigers change the tide there. Here's Montalvo, who's been a very talented server, Mid-South Conference Player of the Year. Cruz. Well, it almost breaks a hole into a few of the coaches' offices over there. 9-6.
The power behind.
Oh, go ahead. Absolutely. Lots of power.
The power behind every single player, just the confidence that they protrude when they're out there.
Montalvo trying to get the Rams out of the system with her serve coming up here. Pancake for Diaz. Just nicks the tape and drops in. So Montalvo going to continue to serve here. 10-6. Might be time for an Alfonso Alvarez timeout. Should she bring an ace home here? Diaz there that time, though. Blocked and in. Ho Yin Lung and Noah Henkel. Timeout, Alfonso Alvarez. It is a 5-point lead for the Tigers here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Welcome back. Set number 3. Tigers lead 2-0 and 11-6. Jay Montalvo with another crazy serve. And once again, we have seen that a couple of times. Jay Montalvo, she'll blaze through with an amazing serve and ends up being an overpass and it's hung right over the middle and slammed home easily. So a 6-point lead. First set, 25-22. Rams really hung tough in there. Second one, Campbellsville looked a little bit more confident as that one is blown out of the water with a set number 2 win at 25-18. Now up 12-7. Ariel Diaz. Kind of a weak swing there. The Rams able to benefit from Henkel missing the mark. Diaz ready to serve again. The middle slapped over, and Henkel makes up for it. Oh, 13-8. Campbellsville able to side out. Now seeing a new player cycled in. It's Damian Cole, the freshman from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Teammate with Brent Knight also on this squad. Not in uniform today. Jeremy Hernandez, I feel like we haven't talked about him as much, but he has just been a very good setter, and even a few times with those free balls over the net, Hernandez, who's listed as a setter, like we said, really punishes the ball down as well. Muter. Back for David Atkins, and Henkel and Ho Yin Lung able to be there, 15-8. Looks like Tigers cruising a little bit here, Jackson.
Yeah, and you talked about Hernandez. He is just such a pillar in this, with last year having 750 assists.
Wow. Very talented team, very talented setter. General Smith. Net violation. And now 16-8. Comes Jeremy Hernandez for Campbellsville. Ciparini blocked. Well, I think that block for Campbellsville, we really haven't talked about that as much in this game as far as just how they've been able to attack so well. They're defending very well against Ciparini here in set 3, and you're starting to see for the Rams a little bit of that confidence that they had in the first set and moments of the second set starting to dwindle down as the Tigers have jumped up to a 9-point lead.
Yeah, and, they played two teams, one of which beat them in Thomas More. But, that confidence helped them in that first set. But like you said,
over the weekend,
started dwindling down.
So for Hernandez, another ace, 18-8. Service here. Bluefield able to finally side out. Campbellsville only 7 away from cruising to a third set victory and a sweep against Bluefield. Although kept the ball alive. And off of the fingertips of Diaz. Really wishes he had that one back because it was sailing out. 19-9. Alfonso Alvarez keeping this one live.
What do you think, sleeves or no sleeves?
Well, I think honestly, to host credit, the sleeves look pretty cool. But if I'm playing at the Dome Gymnasium, I am going to try not to wear sleeves as much as I can. Drops in Alberto Ciparini. Well, Ciparini doesn't wear sleeves. And make that actually now 9 for him. 9 kills for Ciparini. A couple of days ago, absolutely ripped through Thomas More as well as Carolina. Over the line. And a point for Bluefield. That's teed up perfectly to Zoom Kolk there, and I think now we're seeing the real potential of Campbellsville. Team that was kind of frustrated with how it went back and forth in set number 1. And it looks like they're just saying enough. Let's go home. And unfortunately, it seems like the Rams haven't really had a way to stop that either. Back to Henkel. Big swing, and Damian Cole pounds it home. Now Campbellsville only 3 away. We'll take a break here as Alfonso Alvarez calls a timeout here in set number 3. Campbellsville leads. Welcome back, everyone. 22-11 the score. Campbellsville leading in this one against Bluefield College. 2 sets to none. Bailey Engel, Jackson Bast. Also joined by Ethan Stinson earlier in the broadcast. Well, it's been all Campbellsville here in set number 3. Rams really kept it close there in set number 1. Only lost that one 25-22, and now Campbellsville only 3 away. But there's a few positives, and I know it's tough to say that with a score that's literally doubling Bluefield College right now in set number 3. But Jovion Banks, I think, played a very strong game for Bluefield. And Alberto Ciparini also showed that he is closing out a great career in a Bluefield College uniform. Hernandez to Damian Cole, the block, and Hernandez able to recover, but wow, Ciparini, one of those free balls, able to just slap it right down. A sign out for the Rams. Ciparini celebrated senior day a few days ago. Now playing in what could be his final game here at the Dome Gymnasium. Martin up to Diaz, drops in, point Bluefield. Adiel Diaz making it now a 9-point game. Alberto Ciparini. See if he can have a monstrous rally. Big swing. Andres LaBoy. So now a side out back to Campbellsville. And Damian Cole with a chance on 2 serves here to try to end this one for good. And unable to there. Terrell Boston coming back in. Hernandez. Ciparini, no dig. And now, match point coming up for Campbellsville, and we can just really tell that this Tigers team is something special.
We can, and we talk about chemistry just about every time we're on the broadcast. And they've got a lot of chemistry, and you could just tell the camaraderie on this team is something special. Something
to really watch out for, or just wanted to say as Michaels comes into the game, it's a very athletic team. They were shooting around the volleyballs like hoops when we were waiting for the referees to get here, and these gentlemen were absolutely dialed in. This entire Campbellsville squad from beyond the arc. Tony Martin slaps the ball over. Punched. Whistle blows, and Bluefield College committed a violation. So that is it. Campbellsville wins this one 3 sets to none. And for this number 3 team in the country, as prescribed, best team in the Mid-South Conference.
Yeah, and they're the best team for a reason. And I wouldn't be surprised if you send them and then the Georgetown team in the finals.
So 18-3 on the year turns to 19-3 on the year for Campbellsville, and 10-1. Rams lose this one to fall to 8-14, 4-8 in the conference. We're going to be back with head coach Alfonso Alvarez after a quick message, but the final score, 3 sets to none. Tigers win it. Final score here, 3-0, and we're here to talk about it. The head coach of Bluefield College men's volleyball, Alfonso Alvarez, and coach the number 3 team in the country, and they look like the number 3 team for a reason. But I think you guys had flashes of good moments there, especially in set number 1, 25-22. Did you like the energy of your team today?
To be honest with you, Bailey, I did not. I think they came in ranked number 3 in the nation. I think we played like that. I think we were a little scared. I hate to use that word. I just feel like we couldn't really get the things that we wanted to get going. And, yeah, we played a lot tougher in the first set, but we got down a little bit. We didn't know how to recover. And I've been saying this for a while, is we have to play a brand of volleyball where we force them to give us the ball that we want, whether it be an overpass, whether it be an easy ball coming our way, and we have to capitalize on that. And we have to play a lot more opportunistic. And I felt like we didn't do that.
Well, we saw in set 1, if there was something slightly opportunistic, and I don't want to speak for you here, Coach, but I think that Jovion Banks really stood out and kept that game close.
We have 4 middles on our roster, right? And we've been challenging the middles because they all seem to be really good at one thing, but they don't really stand out. And halfway through the match, I looked at our assistant coach, Coach Jacobs, and I said, I think Jovion really wants to stand out, you know, between big blocks, right, and a few kills there. I thought he did a phenomenal job.
Alberto Ciparini, another strong day, but you got a few more games moving on for the rest of the season. What do you want to see of Alberto Ciparini to close out his career?
I kiddingly told him, I said, Alberto, I want that shoulder to fall off, brother. We're just going to swing, swing away. And so he's just, you know, we say it in volleyball terms, a nasty hitter. You know, he knows where to find those zones and those alleys and those seams, and he exposes them so well. And he's just a special player.
Well, for Bluefield College, a tough one today. 3-0. They lose against the number 3 team in the country in Campbellsville. For Ethan Stinson and Jackson Baston, for Alfonso Alvarez, the head coach of men's volleyball, my name is Bailey Engel, reminding you the final score from Bluefield. Rams drop this one 3-0.